Friday, June the 9th, the day before the Belmont Stakes, is a huge day of racing in itself. 5 graded stakes races, 3 grade ones, the Acorn, the Belmont Gold Cup, the Intercontinental, the Just a Game, and the New York. Woo! So they have 5 graded stakes races on Friday and then 9 of them on Saturday. Let's dive on in using the daily racing form past performances. If you ever need help handicapping the races, you know that daily racing form that you see at the tracks all over. You can get it online, drf.com. And right now you can actually get the past performances for the Belmont Stakes Day if you need. And those past performances, you can get the classic ones, or you can get the ones I'm looking at, the formulator. They have a bunch of tools, clocker reports for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, betting strategies, players guide combo, Timeform US past performances, everything you need to succeed over at drf.com for your past performances all week long. Let's talk Belmont for Friday. Let's take a look at the stakes races throughout the day. So I thought the 4th race, they put it earlier on in the card. I can't really find a way to beat an Italian. This is a race that I won't be playing a whole heck of a lot. She's 1-2 on the morning line, and she just doesn't face anyone else who has her type of speed. New Year's Eve is right next door. She's been defeated by Didia in her last few. Spenderella. This is a very, very talented filly. Really talented. She just made her first start at 4. She finished second that day. But I'm just concerned. Is she going to be in chase mode? Because I think an Italian goes a little quicker than what she's used to or what she really wants to go. So I'm not sure. And then from a gambling standpoint, okay, Spenderella is 2-1. Is that incredible value for you by beating an Italian? Maybe those two go at it. I was a little disappointed with Wakanaka being so far back last time out, behind Spenderella and Speak of the Devil, and then now she has to deal with an Italian. And here's Speak of the Devil, who was so good in the Distaff Mile last year and just hasn't been able to really get back there. Her last effort was fine. It was fine. Just couldn't really get creative in here. I really had a tough time getting around an Italian who's just been in really nice form the last couple of years. But the late pick 4 is all graded stakes races, 4 of them in a row. And this is the grade 1 New York, where Warlike Goddess will be your favorite. Warlike Goddess, 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Turf last year, 10-time winner, over $2 million in earnings, 6-5 on the morning line. And she's going to be making her 2nd start of the year. She'd have to work a little bit in the Bewitched. Temple City Terror made her just going to dig down a little. Warlike Goddess was able to have plenty left, was battle off and have some left in the tank there. But we're trying to beat Warlike Goddess. If we're trying to beat Warlike Goddess, who are we going to use? I think a couple in here makes sense. With the Moonlight, obviously for Charles Appleby, who shows up here when you look at the daily racing form statistics and the numbers, you can take a look at how Charles Appleby does overall with horses in graded stakes races here. So we can take a look at the class. No, where are we going here? Stakes, graded stakes, and filter. So they're 20 for their last 46 in graded stakes races. That's a 43% winning percentage, 72% in the money with a $3.12 ROI. And just go through the horses the last few years. You see, they bring horses over. They know which horses fit, which horses belong, what their class levels are, and they bring them over expecting to win. And they generally do. With the Moonlight, was here earlier, and with the Moonlight finished 2nd behind an Italian in the Jenny Wiley, and chose to come in this race instead of trying to chase an Italian, thinking that at least they have a shot to try to close. It's just so hard when you have, when you're chasing a speed horse that's faster than you. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. So she fits. She would be no shock. She went to Newmarket last time out, comes back to North America for this one. But the horses that I would be looking towards if I was trying to beat Warlike Goddess, there's two of them. Market segmentation, who's lightly raced filly, and we've seen, Chad Brown have a couple of these through the years, ones that I think just kind of keep improving and keep getting a little bit better and probably impressing him a little bit more than where what they initially thought of her. Now, from the beginning, she's been very good, but in this race, there's really not much early speed in here. She could be in a great spot. And I don't know if she's as good as, Warlike Goddess and a horse like With the Moonlight, but what she does have, what she could have is a tactical advantage in this group. I also would love to see Pratt get a little aggressive with Shantasara. In the Hillsborough, sitting right off, she was a winner. And if you look back last couple years ago at the end of 2021 when she was doing some of her best work, a couple of the really good races were when she's sitting up closer. I didn't love her race last time out, but I would hope for different tactics in here. And I think because the 2 and the 4 are both Chad Brown runners, I'm not sure if they're going to battle each other. I could see one of the two of them just getting aggressive and the other one being very content to sit second. Because Virginia Joy's not as fast. I think if they want to be in front of her, they can be. And, towards the outside, do we get, trying to get aggressive with the Moonlight? I'm going to give the 2 and the 4 chances because of the possible tactics in this race. And the 7's the horse to beat. Warlike Goddess, obviously. I mean, she doesn't do much wrong. It's not like she hasn't encountered very slow paces like this before, right? But when she does get beat, it's generally in situations where she's left with a little bit too much to do late. That is race number 8, the New York, Grade 1 New York on the Friday card at Belmont Park. Right next door, it's another Grade 1. It's the Grade 1 Acorn. And we have your Kentucky Oaks winner, Pretty Mischievous, who is back in here. She'll have a tough foe right to her inside in Money's Gold, who was the runner-up in the 8 Bells, a very fast filly who will be trying to stretch it out to a mile and a 16th. I'd imagine they want to be winging it. I'm not sure if Money's Gold is going to try to sit in here, more so just try to run them off their feet. Pretty Mischievous, she wants to sit off nicely, and it's very, very tough to knock anything that she's done. Looking through the rest of the field, you have a horse like Good Girl, Bad Habits, who's a real wild card. The one that I landed on from a value-based standpoint would be a Seed. I thought her effort in the 8 Bells when she was 3rd was pretty good. She was fit. She dropped back to 6th. She was outside. She was about 3 deep and only about 3 lengths off or so. And she loomed up and tried really hard. She just couldn't get to the top 2, but she was making up a little bit of ground, and there wasn't all that much passing in that race. Red Carpet Ready made an early move, and Money's Gold was on the lead and battled back. So I do think a Seed is one that I would give a look to. And the other one that was interesting, I'm just kind of curious with Randomize. No idea what she beat. She just looked good doing it. She was challenged by the 6-5 favorite, and she put that one away and opened up, earned a nice figure in doing so. Could be a very nice one. I thought the 8 was one to throw into some of the late exotics there. A Seed. Let's continue along to the Belmont Gold Cup. We're going to be going 2 miles in here. The 2 horses, the one to beat. Siskiny has a lot of this experience going very long against top quality. And that's the difference that this guy has versus some of the others. Some of the other U.S. horses, maybe we see them going a little bit longer, but we don't know against what level of competition. Horses that are coming out of the hurdle races and stuff like that too, same. This is the proven horse going along against really, really classy horses. Now, from a betting standpoint, I'm going to go all the way to the outside. I'm not quite worried about the post that much going so long. And this horse is a stone cold closer, the Gray Wizard. But you go through his career race by race, and didn't fire in his debut. Then in his second start, he wins going 1.25 miles on the synthetic. And then he comes to the U.S. Couple races against Allowance Company. He's in against Grade 3 Company behind Nation's Pride. He's running races that are consistently good. He just hadn't been able to put it all together. And then finally, I think when he went out to Southern California, maybe against a little bit softer company, it helped him figure things out. But when he showed back up in April at Keeneland, I thought it was a really nice effort. He was off for a couple months, and it was visually pretty impressive. About 8 lengths off, he moved up kind of gradually just behind the leaders. He was looking for room. He got a nice opening to the inside. And one of the real reasons why I like him in this race, it feels like for a race like this going 2 miles, there's a pretty good amount of early speed of horses who will want to be forwardly placed in here. Cross Border right next door. Wouldn't be shocked to see that one up close. We have a couple of other front runners, like a horse like Tartini, I think would want to be close up in here, a little more forwardly placed. And a horse like the 6 wouldn't be shocked to see close. Strong Tide wants to sit very, very close. You know what Tide of the Sea wants to do. He's got to go. And so does Channel Maker at this type of a distance. They both have to go. So for a 2-mile race like this, I could see there being a fair amount of speed and set it up for some of these closers who may not normally get that type of pace going longer like this. The Gray Wizard, 10-1 on the number 13. So 13 and 2, I'll use in a lot of exotics. Underneath them, other horses I thought were interesting. Maybe the 11, High Definition, has a couple impressive races. And again, a horse who just has experience going these 2-mile or so races. Fitness should be no issue. And what do you do with Tartini, who comes in from the Asta La Vista at Turfway? I don't know. Maybe you throw him underneath. And the 7, Amazing Grace, who was just chasing such slow fractions last time out. They went 54-3 there. So Amazing Grace wouldn't be a surprise, but lots of the Gray Wizard and the 2 Siscani for me. Let's move to the finale on Friday. Race number 11, Friday, June the 9th, is the Grade 3 Intercontinental. And I will probably play a ticket or two where I single Baystorm, who was a really nice second behind Caravel last time out. This was her first start since February, and she had some trouble that day. She was just behind the leader. She was inside, and she got shuffled back. She lost like 2 lengths of positioning, and she had to move through traffic. She ended up winning the battle for second with Sarah Harper. And she has a lot more early speed than that. They just went very fast, and she just got caught in a bad spot, and it shuffled her. But she's just showed up with big race after big race after big race. It's just nothing bad on the page for her against top-level horses that have continued to run well. And I actually think, looking at the way the race shapes up, for a 6-furlong sprint on the turf, there's not that much speed. See, that's what makes me want to include Sarah Harper a little bit, because she has a lot more speed than she showed in her last start. She actually came from way, way out of it. But can she get back to some of these races where she was big-time speed? Because if so, she's probably the most consistent, fastest horse in here. And I think Baystorm probably wants to sit off a little. But I'm going to use those 2 for sure, because I feel like they will be forwardly placed in a race that it doesn't seem like it has that much early speed for this type of race. Amy C is a little bit more of a presser. Bubble Rock has speed going longer. I think she wants to sit off, going good. A little bit more of a presser. Not exactly slow. You start eliminating horses in here, and who does it get back to? Bay Storm sits a nice trip. And can Sarah Harper show some of that speed that she's shown throughout a lot of her career? Second start off the break, some upside on the turf. She's only been on it twice. In one of them, she was behind Caravel and chasing Caravel. Bay Storm, the 5, and the 2, Sarah Harper. In a lot of exotics here for me. Bubble Rock's probably the horse to beat. Amy C, kind of an intriguing wild card. What worries me a bit about her is that her last 3 races are down the hill at Santa Anita. And that's a sort of tricky, unique course. Sometimes horses get very good down there, and it might be a little horse for course type thing. Now, she has ability. It wouldn't shock me. I feel like she'll probably be a tad undervalued in here. So Bay Storm, Sarah Harper, try to close things out with them in the 11th on Friday, a big Friday over at Belmont Park. Good luck to everyone playing the races on Friday, and we will have a lot more when it comes to Saturday for Belmont Stakes Day. 9 graded stakes races on the Belmont Saturday card. Good luck all week at Belmont. Remember, head to drf.com for your past performances and anything you need before you play